There is a wall inside CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. It has 140 stars carved into white marble. Each star represents one officer who died in the line of duty. 32 of those stars have no name next to them. Not because the names were forgotten, but because the missions are still classified. Even in death, they cannot be identified. The book beneath the wall has blank spaces where names should be. Some of those blank spaces are 50 years old. They will stay blank forever. Every year, a stone carver adds new stars with a chisel and a hammer. He's been doing it for 35 years. He learned from the man who carved the original 31. The wall started with 31 stars in 1974. Now there are 140. And this is what happens to you at every rank on the way to becoming one of them. Rank 1, the nobody. You are 24 years old. You have a master's degree in international relations. You speak Mandarin, not fluently, but enough. You work at a think tank in Washington, D.C. You write reports that nobody reads. You go home to a studio apartment in Arlington. You eat takeout alone. You wonder if this is it. One night, you open the CIA careers page. You've seen it before. Everyone in D.C. has seen it. But tonight, you actually read it. Operations Officer. The job title sounds boring on purpose. The description is vague on purpose. Everything about the CIA is vague on purpose. You click Apply. The application asks you things no other job application asks. Every country you've visited in the last 15 years. Every foreign national you've had contact with. Every drug you've ever used. Every debt you owe. Every arrest, every lawsuit, every lie you told on a resume. They want to know if you've ever been blackmailed. They want to know if you can be. You submit it. You wait. The CIA doesn't call quickly. They call when they're ready. 3 months later, your phone rings. A woman with no last name asks if you're still interested. You say yes. She gives you a date and an address. The address is in Northern Virginia. The building has no sign. Rank 2, the candidate. You drive to the building on a Tuesday morning. It looks like an insurance office. Inside, 30 other candidates sit in a conference room. Nobody makes eye contact. A man in a polo shirt hands you a written exam. Situational judgment, logic, pattern recognition, personality profiling. You finish it and wait. A week later, you're invited back for interviews. 2 officers sit across from you. They don't introduce themselves by full name. They ask you questions for 3 hours. Not about your resume, about you. How do you handle being lied to? What would you do if a friend asked you to break the law? Have you ever kept a secret from someone you love? Tell me about a time you manipulated someone. They say the word manipulated without blinking. You answer honestly. You think. Then comes the polygraph. This one is different from the FBI's. The CIA's polygraph is called a full-scope lifestyle poly. It doesn't just ask if you've committed crimes. It asks about everything. Your sex life, your finances, your loyalties, your thoughts. You sit in a small room, wires on your fingers, chest, and arm. A machine records everything your body does. The examiner asks if you've ever betrayed someone's trust. Your heart rate jumps. Not because you did, because you're terrified of the machine deciding you did. The session lasts 4 hours. Some people fail 3 times before they pass. Some people never pass. Then comes the background investigation. This one lasts a year. Not 6 months like the FBI, a full year. Agents visit every person you've ever known. Your college roommate from freshman year, your high school girlfriend, your landlord from 3 apartments ago, your professor who barely remembers you. They knock on doors in cities you haven't visited in a decade. They check bank accounts you forgot existed. They interview your neighbors. Your neighbors now know something is happening. They don't know what. You can't tell them. You can't tell anyone. 14 months after you clicked apply, a letter arrives. You've been accepted to the clandestine service trainee program. Report to a location that will be provided 48 hours before arrival. Welcome to the CIA. Don't tell anyone. Rank 3, the trainee. They send you to a place called the farm. That's not its real name. Its real name is Camp Peary, 9,000 acres of forest in Virginia. From the highway, it looks like a nature preserve. The sign at the exit says, Armed Forces Experimental Training Activity. Not the CIA, not a spy school. Nothing that would make anyone look twice. Armed guards meet you at the gate. They don't smile. They don't answer questions. Inside, it looks like a small college campus. Manicured lawns, classroom buildings, dormitories. But the sounds are wrong. Machine gun fire in the distance, explosions from the demolition range, helicopters circling overhead. This is where the CIA turns ordinary people into spies. Training lasts 6 months. You learn surveillance, how to follow someone through a city without being noticed, how to know when you're being followed. You spend days walking through shopping malls and train stations, watching, counting, memorizing. You learn to spot a tail in 3 blocks. You learn to lose one in 2. You learn dead drops, how to leave a message in a public place so only one person can find it, a chalk mark on a mailbox, a thumbtack on a telephone pole, a coin placed on a specific bench. These are signals that have been used since the Cold War. They still work. You learn the SADRAT cycle: spot, assess, develop, recruit, handle, terminate. This is how you turn a foreign national into a spy for America. You find someone with access to secrets. You assess whether they can be recruited. You develop a relationship with them, you recruit them, you handle them for years, and when the operation ends, you terminate the relationship. That word does not mean what you think it means. It means you walk away, and they are alone. You practice recruiting on actors who play foreign officials. You buy them dinner. You earn their trust over weeks. Then you ask them to betray their country. Some say yes. Some say no. Some pull a gun on you. The gun is fake. The adrenaline is not. At night, instructors break into your dormitory. They drag you to a concrete room. They interrogate you for days. No food, no sleep, no light. They simulate enemy capture. You learn to resist. You learn what you'll say and what you won't. You learn where your breaking point is. Everyone has one. The final exercise sends you to a real American city. You must run a covert operation. FBI agents play the role of foreign counterintelligence. They are hunting you. You must complete your mission without being caught. If they catch you, you fail. If you expose your cover, you fail. You don't fail. You graduate from the farm. There is no ceremony, no diploma on a wall. Someone shakes your hand in a conference room. You are now a case officer, the most dangerous job in American intelligence. Your first posting is overseas. You don't get to choose where. Rank 4, the case officer. You are posted to an American embassy in the Middle East. Your official title is political analyst. Your real job has nothing to do with politics. You are there to recruit spies. Everyone at the embassy knows who you really are. The ambassador knows. The Marine Guards know. The foreign intelligence services watching the embassy know too. That's the problem with official cover. Everyone knows. Your job is to identify foreign nationals with access to secrets. Government officials, military officers, scientists, diplomats, people who know things that America needs to know. You meet them at embassy events, cocktail parties, cultural exchanges, diplomatic receptions. You shake hands. You make small talk. You remember everything. Names, jobs, family situations, weaknesses, ambitions. You file a report on every conversation. Langley reads every word. One man catches your attention. A mid-level official in the host country's defense ministry. He has access to weapons procurement data. You engineer a meeting at a conference. You sit next to him. You talk about football. He laughs. Over the next 6 months, you meet him 11 more times. Coffee, lunch, dinner. You become his friend. He doesn't know you're studying him. His marriage is failing. He has debts. He feels undervalued by his government. He is a perfect recruitment target. You feel terrible about what you're about to do. You do it anyway. You meet him at a restaurant. You tell him who you really work for. His face goes white. 30 seconds of silence. Then he says yes. Not because you convinced him, because he was already looking for a way out. You just gave him one. He becomes your asset. For the next 3 years, he passes you classified documents, weapons systems, troop movements, defense budgets. Each meeting could get him killed. Each meeting could get you expelled from the country. You meet in parked cars, hotel lobbies, and public parks. You never meet at the same place twice. You call him by a code name. He calls you by a name that is not your name. Neither of you exists in this version of the world. Rank 5, the NOC. Someone at Langley asks if you'd consider going without cover. NOC, non-official cover. the most dangerous assignment in the CIA. You say yes before you understand what it means. An NOC has no embassy, no diplomatic passport, no immunity. If you're caught, the United States government will deny you exist. There is no rescue. There is no exchange. You are on your own. They give you a new identity, a new name, new passport, new life story. You become a businessman, a consultant for a company that does not exist. The company has a website, a phone number, an office. All of it is fake. All of it costs the CIA 4 times more than a regular posting. Your real name is removed from every database at Langley. It will not appear on any CIA computer. The NOC classes are small, 2 or 3 people. You train at a location separate from the farm. You never meet other trainees. You are sent to a country in East Asia. You rent an apartment under your fake name. You open a bank account under your fake name. You attend business conferences under your fake name. You live this life for years. Nobody knows who you are. Not your neighbors, not the woman you date, not the friends you make. They know the fake version of you. The real version doesn't exist anymore. Your mission is to recruit scientists working on a weapons program. You meet them at conferences. You buy them drinks. You learn about their work. You learn about their frustrations. You spend 2 years building relationships. Then you ask the question. Some say yes, some say no. One says he'll think about it. He calls you 3 weeks later. He says yes. The intelligence he provides changes American foreign policy. Nobody will ever know his name. Nobody will ever know yours. You live this double life for 4 years. You wake up some mornings and forget which name is real. You call your mother from a burner phone once a month. She thinks you work for a consulting firm in Singapore. She asks when you're coming home for Thanksgiving. You say maybe next year. You've said that 3 years in a row. Rank 6, the chief of station. You're 42. You've been in the CIA for 16 years. You've run assets on 4 continents. You've been promoted to chief of station. You are the CIA's top representative in a foreign country. The ambassador reports to the State Department. You report to Langley. Sometimes those are the same agenda. Often they are not. You manage a team of case officers. Each one is running their own assets. Each asset is risking their life. You approve every meeting, every dead drop, every signal. One mistake and an asset dies. Not theoretically, actually dies. You've seen it happen. An asset in your station is compromised. Someone leaked his identity. You have 72 hours to extract him before the host country's security services arrest him. Arrest means interrogation. Interrogation means torture. Torture means he gives up every name he knows, including yours. You organize an exfiltration, a car, a safe house, a fishing boat at dawn. The asset and his family cross a border. They arrive in a third country with new passports. They will never go home again. His children will grow up in a country they've never seen, speaking a language their grandparents don't understand. You did this. You saved their lives. You also destroyed them. Both things are true. Rank 7, the division chief. You're back at Langley. You sit in an office on the 7th floor. The 7th floor is where the CIA's senior leadership works. You are a division chief. You oversee all CIA operations in an entire region of the world. Dozens of stations, hundreds of officers, thousands of assets. You see intelligence that the president sees. Sometimes you see it before the president does. You sit in meetings where the future of countries is decided. Should we support this faction or that one? Should we arm these rebels or let them fail? Should we remove this leader or let him stay? These conversations happen in rooms with no windows, no phones, no recording devices. The decisions made here will never appear in any history book. The consequences will. An operation goes wrong. An asset is killed by the government he was spying against. His handler, one of your officers, was the last person to see him alive. Your officer is devastated. He blames himself. You sit with him in your office. You tell him the asset knew the risks. You tell him the intelligence saved lives. You tell him the math was right even if the outcome was wrong. You don't know if you believe it, but you say it, because that's what division chiefs do. Rank 8, the director's office. You are one of the most senior intelligence officials in America. You brief the director of the CIA every morning. You brief the President of the United States when asked. You sit in the White House Situation Room. People turn to you when they need answers. Sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't. The ones you don't have keep you awake at night. A foreign government is developing a weapons program. The intelligence is incomplete. Your analysts say it's probable. Probable is not certain. Certain is what the president needs. You present what you have. You say the word probable out loud. The room goes quiet. Decisions are made based on that word. Wars have started over less. You go home that night. You live in a house in Virginia with a security detail. Your wife is reading on the couch. She asks about your day. You say it was fine. You've been saying fine for 25 years. She stopped asking follow-up questions 15 years ago. She knows the answers are classified. She married the job the day she married you. Rank 9. The ghost. You retired last winter. 28 years. The retirement was quiet. A handshake from the director. A letter from the president. You put both in a drawer. You move to a house with a porch. You sit on it in the mornings. You read the newspaper. You know things about the headlines that the journalists don't. You know which stories are wrong. You know which stories are missing. You can't correct either. That will be true for the rest of your life. Some secrets expire. Most of yours never will. You drive past the exit for Camp Peary sometimes. The sign still says Armed Forces Experimental Training Activity. You remember walking through that gate 28 years ago. You were afraid. You didn't know what you were signing up for. Now you know. You wish you could tell someone. You can't. You visit Langley one last time. You walk through the lobby. You stop at the memorial wall. 140 stars. You know the names behind 6 of the blank ones. You knew them personally. You recruited 2 of them. You trained one of them. You buried one of them in a country you can't name. You stand in front of the wall for a long time. A young woman in a business suit walks past you. She's 24. She has a visitor badge. She's here for her first interview. She looks nervous. She looks exactly like you did 28 years ago. She has no idea what she's walking into. You want to stop her. You want to tell her what this job will cost her. The friendships she'll fake. The lies she'll tell. The people she'll betray in the name of her country. The name she'll carry that no one will ever hear. But you don't stop her, because someone has to do it. And she looks like she might be one of the ones who can. You walk out of the building. You drive home. You sit on your porch. The sun is going down. Inside CIA headquarters, the marble wall catches the last light. 140 stars. 32 names that will never be spoken. And somewhere on the 7th floor, a young officer opens a file. The next operation begins.